Did you know that over 100,000 people end up in the hospital each year from gardening incidents? Today we're going to look at 7 ways to stay safe in the fall garden. I'm also going to be unboxing the 3-in-1 SAKER vacuum. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to Marlene's How-Tos, my home and garden channel. If you are like me, you most likely have a long list of fall gardening chores. So let's take a look at these 7 safety ways. And the first thing is to make sure that you have your safety gear. These right here are my safety glasses, and I've had them for quite some time. Whenever we're using things that are, mechanized, we like to make sure we have these to protect our eyes. My husband uses these sometimes. These are more rubbery and they fit more snugly at the back, like when he's mowing and using the edge trimmers and things like that. He likes wearing those. As far as, like your pruners and things, that sharp edges, I always like getting the ones that have a safety lock on there like these, especially if you have small children, grandchildren around. You want to make sure that they're protected. And I'll leave a link in the description box where you can get these on Amazon or similar types. Love those. So next you want to make sure that you're protecting your hands. And these right here are some gloves. And these are for more heavy duty work. My husband likes wearing these. This one right here, this one is more for me, like when I'm using more lightweight work. It fits, it has a nice snug fit and it's quite flexible. So I like using it, when I'm planting my bulbs and just doing little things here and there around the garden. They fit perfectly and they come off quite easily. And of course, there are different types like those. Sometimes you may have wet days, it may have rained the day before. So it's good to have like waterproof gloves like these. Sometimes I'll use these instead. And it goes through and it keeps my hands dry and protected, so that way I don't have to worry about anything bothering them that way. The next thing is gear. Even though the weather is cool, you'll sometimes have some bright, shiny, hot days. So you may want to wear a hat to protect your head. This one has a string on there. It actually, protects your eyes as well too from the glare and all of that. It has a little part at the back. And it's good to layer your clothing too. And sometimes, there may be bugs around still, even though it's the fall season, that you may want to protect yourself from getting any bug bites. The next thing is hydration. You want to make sure that you are staying properly hydrated. You can use a large container like this, maybe on a table outdoors, or your watering can. There are so many different types that they have. I like this one here because it makes it so easy to carry. And it just depends on what you want. And of course, those other, juices and so on are not a bad idea either. The next thing is to make sure that you're warming up and cooling down. Warming up before you start and cooling down after you finish. And you can just do light stretches, for your legs, your arms, and all of that. It really is very good for you to, protect your body that way. Next thing is we tend to have a lot of, heavy packages like soil. Some of these weigh like 20 pounds, sometimes even more than that. And this is a constant usage in the garden. So it's not a bad idea, to get like a wagon if you can afford it, for when you use because there are different things. You may have compost manure, you may have potting soil, depending on what you're doing. All of these heavy bags that you have to lift. You can also use a bat brace too if that's going to work for you. It's not a bad idea at all to, invest in one of those. Even the mulch sometimes can be heavy too, depending on the size. And, it's okay to find a chair or a bench and sit in the garden if you want to. Because sometimes I do it if I've been out there for a long time. I'll just pull up a folding chair and sit on there. And it helps you out in so many ways. Now, sometimes there are so many leaves that you have to rake depending on how many trees you have around. So it's a good idea to use appropriate tools. Leaf blowers are a good investment. I'll link this in the description box below because this one works really well for us. And this is not sponsored. This is just, something that we find very useful in our garden. Just make sure the soil is, the leaves are dry. And over here, there are other different types of products like these lightweight hedge trimmers that we did in a previous video, as well as this weeder right here, the grandpa weeder. These are all videos I've done, in the recent past. You can take a look at those to see how they can help you to make your work a little bit easier. And then, of course, from time to time, you'll need to sharpen some of your tools that you're using. Like the lawnmower, sometimes the blades get dull and it's not as efficient. So right here, if you have like a grinder, it's probably a safer thing to use than maybe like a file or something like that to go ahead and just grind it down. That's what my husband is doing right here. because the mower wasn't performing so well. There's nothing wrong with it. It just needed for the blades to be sharpened. And of course, be sure to wear your safety gloves and all of that when you're doing this and protect your eyes. Sometimes it may seem like, redundant, but you'd be surprised sometimes how many times we slip up on simple things like this. So next thing we come to now is the unboxing, the SAKER 3-in-1 mini vacuum. This is actually, they did send this product though to me for me to review, so it's not a paid sponsorship. So I'm going in now and I'm opening it up, just unboxing everything that we have in here. This has the information about them, that you can, feel more comfortable about it. And then over here, this is the box that it came in. The box is very lightweight. I like that. It looks very stylish to me so far. And I like that it has a plastic wrapper on there. And over here, it shows you the different attachments that you can use, for different things. So we're going to take a look at all of that once I get this open. And I like that it has a plastic wrap on there, because that way you know that it wasn't used before. It hasn't been opened since. So you just go in and, get your box cutter or whatever you use to get it opened. So I really like to see that when I get my products. I know that I'm the first one that's actually going in there and it was not a return or anything like that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up the box now. And right here, you'll see that they have a bag in here, a little pouch, and I like that. You can basically put it in there, if you didn't want to use the box, you can store it in that. And it felt really nice, like a little felt material. And these right here, these are the different attachments that come with it. You can see they're of different sizes here. And some of them have brushes on the end. That one is actually a blower, and we'll take a look at that further in the video. And this is actually the charger cord. And another attachment right there. And they also put an extra filter in there, and that one actually is made of metal, so I like that. It's easier to clean. Another blower there as well. And this is the last attachment. This one is a little bit larger, so if you have bigger jobs to do, then it works perfectly for those. And of course, right here we have our manual. And as I always say, go to the manual first. It saves you a lot of frustration on the back end. And this has listed all the details from page to page in more than one language. So it works out really, really well. So now we're going to go ahead and take out the star of the show, which is the vacuum itself. You can see how it's looking there. Very sleek. I like it. Looks very modern, very clean. And of course, you have to get it charged. And the red light comes on when it's just plugged in because it needs to be charged up. And then once it has been charged up, you'll see the light becoming green. So you know that it is ready for you to use. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the first thing I did was to clean my succulent with it, because this is a good way to clean succulents, since they kind of are a little rough and sometimes certain items may not be the best thing. In this case, we're going to be attaching the blower, and this goes on the back. And we're just going to go ahead and spray it on there, and it's going to get it all nice and clean. Any little dust that may be on there, you may see a cobweb here or there for whatever reason. This blows everything off and keeps it nice and clean. So I absolutely love that. Over here I had some seeds that were spilled, some marigold seeds that had spilled, and these are pretty lightweight. So this is a good way to collect them. Of course, you can use it to collect dust in any other part of your home or even in your car if you want to. But in this case, I'm using it to pull up the seeds that I have here that were spilled. So I'm going to pull them up, and then I'm going to go back and get them out. And so that way I'll still have my seeds, together, and I can, always package them for use in the future. So you just go in and take the filter out, and you just shake them out as we're doing right here. And this is how you would do the dust as well. And then over here now we're using the blower again, and this is my creeping Jenny right here. It has some debris, fallen leaves and so on. So my husband here is just blowing it off. And it's small and it's lightweight, but it's very, very powerful. I was really quite impressed by how strong it was. And then over here, now we're just going to go ahead and in the little nooks and crannies of our rug right there, we're going to use it to just pull up the little, hard to reach dust particles or little grains that may be in there, and just get those out. So you attach it there and just pull them up, like some little petals and some of the things that were caught in those little parts right there. So we thought that it really worked very well. So we were quite pleased with this product, and I would say definitely give it a try, and I'll link it in the description box below. The next thing in the garden now is bugs. Some of them are harmful. It's a time for spiders. You see a lot of those in the garden. Some of them can be very dangerous. A brown recluse spider can actually have you in the hospital for days. So please be careful. Some of them actually are quite harmless and they are advantageous for your garden. So I would say take a look, read up about spiders in your area and bugs and even snakes that are there sometimes to make sure that you're aware of what to look for. The next thing now is like caterpillars, the fuzzy ones. I'd say if they're fuzzy, definitely avoid them. I did a recent video about this one specifically here. I thought it looked so strange when I found it. I was actually going through and cutting back my gladiolus. You can see it's time for them to, be cut back. And it camouflaged so well on there. So I honestly didn't even know it was there until I took a real closer look and I saw it in there. So be on the lookout for these guys. Don't touch them. I know kids like to play with the bugs sometimes. So make sure that you warn them about these so that they can protect themselves. And then over here is another one again. This one is a fuzzy one. It doesn't sting as hard because the other one you just saw, it can be as hot as a bee sting, they say. But this one is not so bad. And just to say that if you like flowers and gardening even half as much as I do, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap on the notification bell twice so you never miss an upload. And now here is a bonus that I have for you here. And that is basically to, mix up your tasks that you're doing. Don't do this. Don't be out there like for hours and doing weeding or doing, trimming back edges. If you're doing one thing, you do it for a few minutes and then you just go in and you switch it out to something else. And I like to basically just give myself a little area, a little spot for the day and say, okay, today I'm working on this spot right here. And then I'll pick up another day with another area. And you just switch out to another task in the garden. And that way your muscles are not overworked. So it's better for you health-wise. And just, enjoy your autumn garden. And just bear these things in mind. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to put them below. I'll be more than happy to answer what I can for you. And I do hope to see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. And share this with those who you think it might help. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your fall garden.